Good day, everybody, and welcome back to another Ross Reviews, where today we're in a Holden. This is a 2008 VE SS Ute, 6-speed manual, and we're pushing about 430 rear wheel horsepower. This thing is pretty damn epic. I love a good Ute, I love a V8, and man, this one, I like it a lot. Now, these came out in 2006, right after my very favorite VZ Commodore, and these were carried through up until about 2013 when the VF was released. Now, a lot of people do kind of pick on the VE because it was a little bit bland, it was a little bit more of the safe car if you compare it to, say, the VZ, but you still had that LS2 up front, the V8, 6-speed manual, man. Mate, these cars are just a lot of fun. And just coming around some tighter hairpins here, we do have coilovers fitted to this particular Ute. Coils all around in these VEs, unlike the Falcons. And you can definitely tell it helps in its handling. It definitely does. It rides a little bit smoother as well. You get around these tight hairpins, yeah, it stays really flat. Man, it definitely handles itself really well. It definitely is a bit low with these coilovers. It looks good. Got 20-inch wheels on this particular one. They're finished in this bronze color. Really pops with the orange of this VE. And from factory, this LS2 would have been pushing around that 300 crank horsepower mark, which is still pretty damn healthy. This thing with all its mods, we've got an intake on this, 3.5-inch exhaust. We've got headers on this car as well. Tuned. 430 rear wheel horsepower now, and it is healthy, 100%. Also have a mild cam in this car, and it looks good. You just see this thing, the stance, those halo headlights up front. It's just a really looked after VE example, and the fact it's pushing this nice power, 6-speed manual, V8 exhaust, it's just such a sweet driving car. Steering is pretty good as well. We're going around this backcountry road. You can tell what those front wheels are doing pretty good. Those coilovers definitely help settle the car as well. Keeps it a lot flatter. Definitely can tell what those front wheels are doing. It is a little bit light, but it's not bad actually. It's pretty good. The brakes, they are just standard VE brakes, so they're nothing special, but they still stop this car reasonably well. If you're going to go to the track or anything, especially pushing this power, you'd probably want to start looking at upgrading them brakes. But, for just cruising out here, they definitely can stop this car still. Now inside as well, the owner has done a few little upgrades in here, really to make this V look a little bit nicer inside, because honestly, that is one of the bigger negatives about these Vs, that they can be a little bit plain inside. This particular one, he's got an upgraded steering wheel here, so it does feel very nice in the hands. He's put actually a couple of Calais parts in here, so got these suede materials on the side of the door card here, soft touch up here that generally would be plastic. Even the blacked out roof lining, which I don't know if that's a standard feature in one of these, but I like it. And yeah, blacked out roof linings always should be done. Especially cool upgrade he's done is this Alpine head unit that is full touchscreen. It's even got some performance modes in here, which is pretty interesting. And honestly, it's not a bad upgrade. I gotta say, it looks pretty cool, seems to function really well. I think a lot of people would actually like to use that. Now, fuel economy, it's a V8, it's a manual. If you're worried about fuel economy, go buy a Toyota, like Prius or something. But in general, the owner tells me, even with the tune and everything, he's still getting around, 500, 600 Ks per tank, depending on how he drives it. So that's pretty damn good. You know, you're probably sitting around that 13 liters per 100 Ks, which is pretty impressive. Now, just hearing this 3.5-inch X-Force exhaust go a little bit here, so. Yep, that's definitely got every bit of 430 to her, mate, because it is definitely responsive when you get it up into the rev range, and felt like it was starting to break loose a little bit there, so that is, yeah, mate, she sounds good, goes hard, and you gotta be happy with this thing. Wow, yeah, she's quick. And just from giving it a little bit there, you know, you can really tell that this build is just a really nice, healthy street number, because, you know, the owner still does use this as a daily, and the clutch is still pretty easy to get off the line. You know, under 3,000 RPM, it still drives really cruisy. You know, you can just cruise in this thing. It's not too aggressive. And when you really want to flat stick it, it can still scare you a bit. So that's what you want from a car, a street car especially. Yeah, it's a really healthy, nice number for a street build for sure. Like, any more, you start to get too silly, 100%. Now, just comparing these VEs, you know, to an FG, we featured a lot of FGs on the channel, and, you know, they're pretty similar. You know, you can't really pick these cars out all that much different. You know, realistically, the VE had a so-so interior from factory. The FG had a very so-so interior from factory. So they both go hard. They're both fun. Both come in manuals, auto, 6 speeds. Like, honestly, the more I drive the VE, the more I drive the FG, they really do become more and more similar. And it kind of really does boil down to just preference, what you like, what you want. Do you want a turbo or do you want a V8? They're very similar. They really are. Major benefits of this one being a Ute is that it does have coils all around, where an FG Ute is going to have leaf spring rear end. So, you know, it is a little bit more comfortable to drive, but then again, you can actually put a little bit more weight in the Fords. Now, price, brand new, one of these would have set you back around that 50, 55 grand mark, which back in the day, you know, it seems pretty reasonable. Nowadays on the used market, these, especially Ute, especially V8, especially manual, the prices have just gone crazy. And, you know, to get something like this, similar kind of mods, you know, 20, 30 grand mark, you're going to be looking at least, depending on K's, condition, mods, you know, it ain't cheap anymore to get one of these cars, but man, they're so nice to have. And I really do want to get a V8 manual Ute very soon, and it's kind of sad when I look at the prices. Now, just before we continue with this VE SS review, guys, make sure you go hit that big red subscribe button and click the bell notification so you do get updated on all our weekly upload. And man, manual SS, you gotta love this thing. And this is the thing, right, with a V8 a manual, you know, manuals in general, especially when you got some performance behind it, it's just so good to row your own gears, and it just gives you a feeling of like satisfaction that you don't get in a lot of the modern cars anymore, because it is so rare to have a manual V8 with, you know, kind of this old school power plant. And it really makes you kind of engage with the car a lot more, and you got to think about what you're doing. You know, you got to understand the car a little bit more, focus like when I'm going to shift, use your left foot, change the gear, match, rev match. You know, it makes you think a little bit more, it gets you more involved, and that's really where you get a lot of the joy out of these cars when you're on a nice windy road, going through the gears. It's really rewarding. Now, just pulling up on this back road here, we're gonna do the 0 to 100. Guys, remember, it's modified, manual, V8. You know, I don't actually know what this thing would have got from factory. You know, being a manual, again, it's really challenging. So we'll just take it off the line, see what we get here. So here we go. We're just leaving it. Traction control is on. That's all we got to do. So here we go. Well, that was better. There we go. Yeah, boy. That felt really strong. We definitely could have went a little bit harder initially, but you know, for not breaking traction, you know, it's pretty easy to break traction in first in this car. So it was starting, traction control definitely came on in first and second, but that felt pretty dang strong. Let's have a look at the Dragy. 5.8 seconds, 0 to 100. And mate, you gotta be freaking happy with that, considering this is a manual. That felt really quick, and that totally blew my expectations. I didn't think it was gonna be that quick considering it's a manual. So yeah, she goes hard. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, this V with its basic bolt-ons and shoon really does come alive, and as the 0 to 100 showed, it's a handful, but still keeps that ability to be a decent daily if you wanted to keep it at them lower RPMs. Yes, these utes are getting expensive now, but there really is just something so special about an Aussie V8 manual ute. Thanks for watching.